Okay, it's possible that you have not heard much about linguistics before. If so, that's totally fine. I just want to tell you a little bit about what linguistics is all about. In linguistics, we are interested in how people actually use language, just ordinary spoken language. For example, they might say, "You gonna finish those fries?" We are interested in patterns that people follow naturally in order to speak in the same way as other people in their community do. Notice that if somebody said, "Gonna you finish those fries?" that would be deeply strange. That just doesn't happen. I've indicated that by putting an asterisk on it. So the fact that "you're gonna finish those fries" is normal and "gonna you finish those fries" is not, means that there is a pattern that people follow in a given community. In fact, this is a rule in that community, a natural rule that people follow. Say, "You gonna finish those fries?" Don't say, "Gonna you finish those fries?" We are also interested in the linguistic details that vary from one community to another. For example, in some communities, people might say, "You finna finish those fries?" And we are interested in what speakers accomplish socially when using certain words or phrases or pronouncing things a certain way or choosing a certain sentence structure. So, "you're gonna finish those fries," for example, could very easily function as a request for fries, even though the words themselves don't spell that out. In linguistics, we investigate everything about language. Sounds, for example. We also investigate sound systems. For example, the fact that in English, you could say, notice that middle sound there, you could say water or water, water, water. So, two different sounds in the middle of that word. In English, whichever one you say, you would be saying the same word, just sounding differently. But in some other language, those two sounds may count as two very different sounds, not interchangeable. So these two languages have different sound systems. We're also interested in the internal structure of words. For example, unlockable has three chunks in it: unlock and able. We also study sentence structure. Here, for example, this tree shows that the phrase "in Morocco" occurs inside the phrase "lives in Morocco." We're also interested in the structure of chunks of language beyond one sentence, longer stretches forming a discourse. And we're interested, of course, in the meaning of words, the meaning of phrases and sentences, such as the fact that bat can have different meanings. We also consider how different elements of a conversational context influence how people interpret what others say. You may be able to think of different situations where "can I help you" means or different things or functions in different ways to accomplish different purposes. It's not always the same. We are also very interested in the mystery of how children acquire language. This is a deep and important topic. On a related point, we're also interested in what happens in our brains while listening to someone else speak and making sense of it, and while producing speech of our own. So, this has given you some idea of what linguistics is all about.